Hello friends, today is all about using up things that I have in the studio that I haven't played with in a while. So I have this canvas, it's just, canvas that I picked up from a secondhand that has gesso on one side and nothing on the other, raw canvas. And I'm using these sprays. These are Art Anthology spray ink, and I don't even know if they make these anymore. But you've got sprays and things in your own studio that you probably need to use up. So I'm spraying down some color and getting out these stencils from Elizabeth Craft Design and adding some texture with the stencils and drying off the layers in between. I really like these colors. It's kind of yellow, green, purple, blue combination. And I'll use a number of different stencils here to get the design going, but it's all about layers and layers and layers. And what I'm thinking about is using this canvas either for a journal cover or some pages in a journal or something, but just having a good play here today. So I'm going to use some inks, other inks and other um, tools that I have. This is another colorful ink from Art Anthology and another stencil from Elizabeth Craft. And continuing with getting the texture and color down on the page in layers. And then of course we'll have to dry that off until we can put another layer down. So get my craft tool, dry things down. But you can start to see what's happening here. You're getting some depth from the layers, from what's underneath to what's on top as I build it. So if you haven't joined me in my channel, please consider subscribing, giving a thumbs up, that sort of thing, because that's how YouTube knows that this content is of value. So I'm getting some darker spray now and another stencil and adding yet another layer. Now I don't know if these inks are permanent or not. What I will do is I will use a spray fixative over all of this, and then I will probably put a sealant, a varnish or something over the top before I make my journal cover. So I'm going to make a couple of pieces and use different tools as we do this. I tried doing some stamping. The stamping wasn't working out real well, and I don't know if it's because the canvas was a little bit too textural. I've got other fabric I want to work on, and I'm going to probably do that in some future videos, but I picked up some fabric from the dollar store, and I also had some that I had picked up a number of years ago that I was going to make some journal pages out of. So this might end up being just a fabric book. Who knows? I haven't got any notion about where we're going to head with this whole thing. I'm just doing some creative play with products and things that I haven't had out in a while and need to use up. So now I'm getting some archival ink. Archival ink is something that will work on fabric. It's going to stay in place. I actually have some older sprays from a couple of different companies. I even got some old Ranger sprays that they don't even make anymore. So I need to use those things up and just have a good play day. I found that rubbing the ink onto the stencil and then using a brush to push the color off the stencil into the holes works pretty well. So give that a try if you want to stencil on fabric. And now I'm going to get that same stencil I used previously, and I'm going to use ink the archival ink this time instead of the spray ink. And this is a black archival, which is turning out kind of gray in color. You know, I'm not worried about it getting really dark, because this is just a layer. It's a layer away from, you know, finishing up something. And I like the gray. It's kind of a smoky gray. So now I have another stencil from Elizabeth Craft Design, and I decided to use this plum color, which is in contrast quite a bit to the rest of the background. I thought it would stand up off of the page a little bit more. And it's got some fun things for the quote on here. So I thought it would be a good thing to put on my journal cover material. So there's that. And now I'm going to get a smaller piece of canvas and play around with that a little bit. This is that roll of fabric that I got from the dollar store. And now I'm going to get out some oil pencils. These are Posca oil pencils. And I'm just drawing some hearts onto this canvas. And then I'm going to spray it with some more of that spray and dry that down. Get it pretty thick because I want it dark enough to change the color on the canvas. So I think I even ended up spraying it a couple of times to get it darker. And then I had these alcohol ink pens in my stash. I think they're something I picked up out at Sam's when they were having things at a good price. But, you know, if you've got any alcohol ink markers, that would be a good thing to use on your canvas also. So I'm filling in the color on the hearts that I drew. I want that to stand out a little bit more. And then I'll go back to my stencil and put another color with words over the top of that. I don't know if this will just be a mini journal or a page element, you know, something that could get stapled in or glued down, or, you know, I'm just making pieces of cloth, pieces of canvas that have design on them. And I'm having fun. I'm looking at my inks and trying to decide. That was the pack of alcohol markers that I have. And now I'm looking for the color I want to use. I end up using a blue, which is kind of a smoky blue, not a bright blue, a smoky blue. It's grayed down. So that's what I did today, playing around with art supplies that need to be used up. I hope you're using your things and have a good play day too. Thanks for watching. I'll see you again soon. Bye.